Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another Wise Tips. Eduardo, how are you today?
I'm very well. Good to be here, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good now that it's not icing outside.
I
So,
can
can't
take that, right?
yeah, seriously. It's drier than normal, so that's a good thing. I'll take it for now.
Yeah, and I'm very excited here today to come up with more news
Yeah,
for our users and non-users as well. A bunch of new
yeah.
stuff.
Well, so much so that my dogs got really excited because we're going to release some new versions. We've
Yes,
got, I know, not only the desktop application version, but also a mobile app too. So we've got
correct.
both of those coming out here now. And
Yes,
I know you've got plans with our tech people to get everybody updated as soon as possible.
I was lining up with our technicians, so you guys, the users, should just wait. We were talking about the X-ray, the new reproduction X-ray, since we are pretty
Yeah.
much in the breeding season already. By the way, for users and non-users, I think you guys are gonna listen to us talking more and more about reproduction just because it is breeding season right now. But I
Yep.
believe as the wise tips keep coming, we're going to train a little bit in a different direction as we move forward. But talking about the breeding season, one of the big highlights we had in the recent podcasts was about the X-ray, but that was version one, right? So with the version ones, certain tweaks, certain adjustments, and a new version is coming out. So I just would like to let you all know that we have the version ready, and I was talking to our technicians. Just sit there and we get you update soon enough. In a couple of next days, you should have a new version for that.
Just as a reminder for our users, when you are updated, you'll get that notification when you log in saying you're about to experience a new version. Make sure that if you're also a user that utilizes the mobile app, make sure you also go then to the App Store and make sure that you're on the latest as well. If there's an update, make sure you download it so you can have the latest on the mobile app too, because we made some adjustments there as well.
There's a new version of the mobile app out there as well. So we made tremendous investment on the speed performance, but now comes the new features, and I'm very excited about those too.
Yeah. Well, because it's breeding season, I feel like obligated to start with one of the adjustments there on the desktop app for breeding season and highlighting a little bit more of our digital whiteboards on the browser. So just as a reminder for people what those are, the digital whiteboard on the browser, that's the ability for our users to actually take certain forms within Wise Option within the application and through using an authorization code actually display them on a browser. So they can have them displayed on another monitor or even a smart TV if they're browser enabled. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And one of those forms is the daily worksheet, which is a vital part of our reproduction center's day-to-day operations here in breeding season to be able to know which mares they're checking. And I know, Eduardo, we've worked very closely with some of our users to make some pretty big improvements on that digital whiteboard.
Yes, I would like to give a shout here to Allison at Royal Vista Southwest. Hey, Allison, thank you so much for your contribution. It's been, a mix of overwhelming learning because there's so many exceptions, so many this and that. And
Yeah.
my plan is to bring to you guys probably towards end of February because we're going to be in Oklahoma soon. Here goes some tips about the remote on the road as well. But I already told Allison, we need to show everybody this because it looks very cool. I think it's going to be the first mare sports bar because it looks like a sports bar. You go everywhere, you see TVs hanging on the wall
That's
as
true.
if those mares were watching TV. But yeah, here's what's happening.
It's too
For
bad they don't
non-users,
read the books.
yes. The point is that we have the remote desktop application on the regular computers. Now we are connecting the dots with the technicians and people gathering mares out from the different pastures and locations through the mobile app. So, you know, silent communication right there. And we've seen people using over and over and over go to there and manually update the whiteboards hanging on the wall. Why doesn't the computer do that magically for them? So Wise Option also offers the digital whiteboards on the browser. Why is this last terminology so important on the browser? Because it's on the regular browser. Every single TV that you buy today, they are smart TV. They come with web browser. You don't need to install programs. You don't need to install any applications. You just go to the Wise Option website, you enter the code, and you have your digital whiteboard from the cloud right on your screen. Therefore, that's technicians who's passing by. Of course, we're going to help you guys to place this in strategic positions in your operation. But the point is palpation on the computer, technicians, mobile app, and veterinarians look at the wall. Everybody's connected on the same page. Beautiful work. And I promise you guys, we're going to bring you some videos about that soon enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And just as a hint too, for all of our users out there, the digital whiteboard on the browser is not limited to just reproduction forms. We've done them on other forms as well, the calendar, namely on another, and we are going to continue to put these forms or put this digital whiteboard enable access on more forms as well. So be on the lookout for that too. And again, on that additional video that we'll make for that as well.
Help me to remember some of the whiteboards that we have currently, Rachel.
So there's the calendar, there's the daily worksheet, the semen order log, the courier log.
I know that for a fact is coming, of course, the whiteboard for treatment list.
The treatment list, yeah. That's been one that's been a long time coming.
The notepad, which
the
is
notepad, yes.
So there are so many options. That's why we are encouraging people to have more and more. And today you can buy a smart TV for $150.
Right.
Instead of doing the work and you do your updates on the computer and everything is automatically translated in an easy, way that you can picture, scan your eyes and know what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, another reminder here as we get to the busy season for many of our users as well, definitely just a general reminder. It's not anything specific, but a general reminder as we get through some busy. I know sometimes it can be a lot daunting, especially as the volume increases. And there are some tasks that, let's be honest, just we're going to always take that long, and that's okay. But if you're finding certain things, especially when you're using Wise Option, that are taking you forever, or even just tasks you're like, man, this takes me so long, or I have this redundant work I have to do every single time X, Y, or Z happens. Pause for a second, write it down, make a note, and schedule a session at some point later to talk to us about it, because there may be a feature that allows you to do that in a much more expedited manner. So again, I know especially as it gets toward the busier season, we all kind of get in those zones and kind of like put the blinders on, or like, don't talk to me until this is done. I get it. I'm like that too. But again, if you do find yourself in those situations where you're just like, oh my gosh, this just takes ridiculously a long time. Again, just make a note for later. And when you have a second, schedule a time, 15 minutes for us to talk about it. And it'll be a simple yes or no. Either there is something or there isn't. But if there isn't, maybe it's a good thing to note for maybe the wish list meeting in the summer, because maybe there should be. Just throwing it out there.
Amazes me to see the number of times we can help just with showing a particular button or a particular report that people simply ignore the presence there, exactly for what you described, the pressure of the day, one thing after the other, and not having time to process. And it's normal, guys. We get used to our ways, thinking that we have the best, and you need sometimes a pair of eyes that come with an outside viewer. And if you are struggling, just invite us to take a look. I'm very proud to say that we have users that sometimes they get accustomed to the situation and they call us. I think you know who I'm talking about. And they say, Eduardo, is there anything else for us? Are we doing all that we can do? Because they try to squeeze the program to do everything they can do, to push efficiency to its limits. And that's how it's supposed to be. On the reverse side, if it is taking so long, if it is too many clicks, ask us. Very likely, number one, we might have a solution, or number two, we will find a solution together.
Yep. Yeah. Good, wise words as we head into this crazy season. Well, I always like ending these things on kind of a high note and always a good thing. So we talked about new versions and things coming soon. One of the big features, which was a huge request from the wish list meeting this past summer, was escrow accounts. And our first version of escrow accounts is going to be on this new desktop application that's it's going to be out to everybody. So just thought we'd give people just maybe a little overview of what is an escrow account, how, and some examples of how it could be used, just so that they can get an idea of if it's something that they should look into or not.
Okay. Every customer in Wise Option by default has its own account where you see the transactions, invoices, payments, charges, administration fees, whatever. It's a regular transaction. Sometimes you're going to receive an amount, could be a deposit, could be something related to a particular service or anticipation of credits, and you don't want to use that amount towards other services in the account. We put that aside. We put that on an escrow account. So now every single customer in Wise Option has its official account, and you can send or bring from the escrow account funds. So if you receive a payment and that payment should apply only you have a heartbeat confirmation for full when the mare is pregnant. You receive the amount, you put in the escrow account. That does not affect the total of other invoices and such. And whenever you get to that point, you bring those funds back into the account whenever the charge applies. And you can play that with the stallion, booking fees, shipping fees, surgeries in case of hospitals. Sometimes you have a large case, a treatment that's going to take quite some time. You take $2,000, $3,000 up front as a deposit. You put there because the hospital case has not been closed yet. Escrow account is going to give you the flexibility to temporarily put on aside certain funds so you can use later. And of course, we're going to give you reports as well so you can see the transactions within the period, as well as summary about all the escrow accounts in the program. Did I do a good job there?
No, I think you did a great job. And I love the examples you gave as well. I mean, it's a great way for you to be able to have an accurate account balance.
Yes.
And so, because so many times our customers are like, well, how can I really maintain that accurate account balance so it doesn't affect my aging accounts receivable, right? At the end of the day, I mean, especially something that goes, well, you know, maybe we build this fee now, but they don't owe it actually until September, but they need to see that it's on their account. But
they collect the money. The money has to go somewhere.
Right. And so they say, well, but they don't owe it till September, and you don't want that balance sitting there as they owe it now. And that's dragging down your aging accounts receivable because it shouldn't. So, or affecting your aging accounts receivable in some way. So that escrow account is a great. So I'm so excited for round one. And like we said, the base feature there with some reports here to come very shortly after for some of those transactional reports in escrow. Very exciting.
Yeah. This particular escrow account is available now on this new version. However, it's important to remember escrow is part of the impact package. So if you are only with foundation, if you are only with equine breeders or only with the hospital, you need the impact. The impact is the additional features, the plus extra features that you need. So it's important to mention that impact will be there. I don't want to cause a sensation. So I don't see what the escrow account is not here, probably because you don't have the impact package. And if you want to learn more about the impact package, what should they do, Rachel?
They should reach out to us and ask.
Yes.
Be happy to talk with them and see if that would be a good investment for them, because impact is one of those packages that it is small, but oh my gosh, it is mighty. It affects every other package. It does. And it's pun intended.
Yeah.
And it really does.
Small fee compared to all the other packages. I think it's our cheapest.
It is.
It's just $1+. You like a pro if you want to do some massive complex tasks and implementation. May I improvise here a little bit?
Of course, go for it.
All right. It's not on the script, so we are live. We are
all right. Well, that makes me a little nervous. But
no, you're gonna like this. It's because we're talking about so much about reproduction.
I'll be the judge. Okay.
Something occurred to me that it's related to the impact that I wanted to mention here. It was a beautiful work that we did with a very nice facility in Kentucky, and those guys were phenomenal to us. Here, let me describe, and then you're going to tag along with me. All right. Here we go, guys. Imagine the following. It's a billing day. It's crazy. You have all different types of invoice to sort it out, different types of customers that you want to send statements to. And you're going to have partners. You're going to have large accounts. You're going to have special deals. You're going to have employees. You're going to have friends and family. And you have to break down these things. And it becomes a nightmare when you're sending all these statements and you totally get lost. Which ones have I sent? Which ones haven't I sent yet? Now we have the smart billing. So it's a feature that serves all across different, billing days. If you are in the office and if you're struggling, sorting out all the different statements, basically that's what Wise Option. I'm going to let Rachel work on this because she was primarily the one dealing with this thing. But imagine this. Wise Option, you send a number of statements. Wise Option knows which customers you already sent out and differentiate which customers are left. Is it? Can you elaborate more, Rachel, on that one?
Yeah, well, I think you just placed it pretty simply there, and I think that's probably the best way to describe it there. It's just that every time that you send a statement, whether you e-bill someone or you print someone, Wise Option has registries of knowing when, what date and time you sent that. So as Eduardo was describing, some facilities have a certain workflow in which they have to send out statements. It's more staggered. So most places send them all out at once. However, sometimes, like you were describing there in some of those examples, there may be situations where they need to actually be staggeredly sent. So it can get kind of confusing when you say, well, which ones have I sent? Which ones have I not? And it leads to a lot of duplicated work of trying to create groups and then send on the groups and things like that, rather than just having Wise Option say, well, show me everyone I haven't sent yet. Okay, are we done? Yes. Okay, now show me.
I thought that genius when we were talking with Dr. Reborn. Here goes my shout to Dr. Reborn. And I'm going to tell you, that was, I was thinking myself as a customer, if you send me the statement, like say electronic statement, I received the statement. And then let's say tomorrow morning, you send me another one. I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm going to send you the check. Come on. All right.
Yes.
So it might sound like too much pressure or doesn't look so professional. And we are so concerned about keeping your image to make you look good for your customers and give some sense. So let the program differentiate which ones have we sent, which ones haven't we yet.
Right. Exactly.
So beautiful. We love that module.
I'm just going to do one more shout out because I have to. You know what? I know in our first conversations is very instrumental in it, but I have to give a huge shout out to Mel. She was so instrumental in perfecting that and really helping to hone in on exactly how it needed to function, how it needed to function best. So extreme thanks and gratitude to that excellent woman for being able to work with us and able to hone in. So there's my little 2 minutes there.
That's who we are. Rachel, at least she has this advantage on her side because she touched horse in her life. I have never. So if you want to have a pretty good life.
I did see an image of you riding a horse one time though. So that's
I'm glad that you were not present there to see the ridiculous, performance it was. But I was brave enough. I will pat myself on that one.
Oh, well, you know what? This has been a wonderful chat, and I hope we've provided our users with some exciting things coming up very, very soon, and some new features there as well for them to kind of explore and play with. And as always, if you have any questions, reach out. But we hope everyone has had a great start to their week, and we'll talk again real soon.
Looking forward to the next one already. See you there.
Bye.
Bye.